Bruchim Habayim, Erev Tov. Welcome everyone to Sheker Celebrates Israel at 60. We have in this room over 1,100 people.
Well, hey there, Huckleberry Finn.
Why, hey there, Tom Sawyer.
Well, fancy you being here.
Well, I'm sure all you folks out there wondering what tarnation two fictitious characters from 19th century American literature are doing here at an Israel at 60 celebration.
Why, don't you mean what are the two most famous characters from 19th century American literature doing at an Israel at 60 celebration?
Why, Tom, that is exactly what I mean. And I'm sure all you folks out there wondering the same thing.
Well, it's like this. Our author, Mr. Samuel Clemens, y'all might know him better as Mr. Mark Twain, took a trip to Palestine in 1867. Huck, why don't you tell these fine folks what Mr. Twain had to say about the Holy Land?
Why, Tom, it would be my pleasure. He said that Palestine was a hopeless, dreary, heartbroken land. And looky here, it would be better to swallow a devil or two than have to live in such a place.
And look at this, to recreate a Jerusalem street, it would be necessary to upend a chicken coop in an alley of American houses. Well, will you look at that?
Well, I guess Mr. Twain didn't think much would ever come from the land of Israel.
But just 80 years later, things were very different. The Zionist movement and the tragedy of the Second World War made the creation of a Jewish state a necessity.
Heck yeah! And then, on November 1947, a historic vote took place at the United Nations.
Jews all around the world sat listening to the live broadcast on their radios.
Whatever a radio is.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's November 29th, 1947, and we are broadcasting live from the United Nations Security Council General Assembly in Lake Success, New York. Together we are... Oh, hold on. We have just received word that the voting has now begun. Iraq.
No.
Iran.
No.
Lebanon.
No.
Soviet Union.
Yes.
United Kingdom.
His Majesty's government abstains.
United States.
Yes.
Yemen.
No.
Yugoslavia.
Abstention. The United Nations has ruled in favor of the partition of Palestine into two parts, an Arab state and a Jewish state.
The news has reached the Jewish Agency building in Jerusalem, where over 20,000 have gathered there tonight. People are singing now and dancing in the streets as they rejoice at this wondrous news.
Israel was the birthplace of the Jewish people. Here we created our spiritual, political, and religious identities. Here is where we first attained statehood, created cultural values of national and universal significance, and gave the world the eternal book of books. After being forcibly exiled from our land, we never ceased to pray and hope for our return to rebuild it and for the restoration in it of our political freedom. We declare that from the moment of the termination of the mandate, being tonight, the 5th of Iyar, 5708, May 15th, 1948, the People's Council shall act as the provisional government of a new Jewish state to be called Israel. because, yes, Golda.
BG, what is it?
Golda, I need you to get me my Minister of Housing.
I am your Minister of Housing.
I thought you were my Minister of Labor.
I'm also your Minister of Labor.
But aren't you also my... oh, never mind. We have a major crisis on our hands, Golda.
Which one of the dozen crises are you referring to now, BG?
I know we promised to open the gates of our new country to every immigrant, but how can we reasonably do this?
BG, tens of thousands of Jews displaced by World War II are traveling across Europe, trying to leave the Holocaust behind them and make their way to the new Jewish state. It is a very real possibility that the Arab nations who were defeated in the War of Independence are going to take revenge on the 900,000 Jews living in their countries. And on the island of Cyprus, thousands of Jews placed in detention camps by the British are waiting to come home.
But we already have a food shortage in this country. We don't have enough housing or social services, and a new state needs to spend money and energy on rebuilding and equipping its defense forces.
Opening the gates are not optional. It must be done, and it must be done today. Look how those refugees and European survivors are making their way here, as you and I stand and argue. Open those gates today, and within 2 years, our population will double.
I can do this only on one condition, Golda.
And what is that?
Go find yourself a big stole. I'm sending you to Miami to fundraise for the new Jewish state. Go ask America to help us settle the immigrants.
I'll go straight to the airport. You watch and see I'll raise
Okay,
$10
so
million
do it,
in
woman.
America.
אני יוסף לא יודע מה זה פה בכלל אני שואל מכל הצדדים אני שומע סלח פה זה ארץ ישראל
ארץ ישראל יסוד פה היה דוד המלך חי פה אתה תחיה גם כן אינשאללה בארץ ציון כי כבר אדוני
Within 2 years of the Declaration of Statehood, a wave of mass immigration brought 687,000 Jews to Israel's shores.
By 1951, the number of immigrants in the country nearly doubled the population in 1948.
Immigrants included thousands of survivors of the Holocaust. The majority of what was left of the Jewish communities of Bulgaria, Poland, and 1/3 of the Jews of Romania.
Not to mention all the Jews of Libya, Yemen, and Iraq.
Times were tough. The new state had just emerged from a difficult war.
The economy was in terrible shape.
Hundreds of thousands of immigrants needed housing, employment, and education. So we needed to build, and build, and keep building.
We built houses and schools and hospitals.
City infrastructures, roads, parks, and green spaces.
And slowly but surely, a country emerged before our eyes.